Alright, it's time to do the Friday crossword on January 30th. This one is by Robin Weintraub, who is a specialist in Friday specifically. Our theme lists are quite good, and these are sort of standard grid patterns that you might see with Robin's puzzles, which have been copied by a lot of new constructors and veteran constructors as well. So it's certainly an influential force when it comes to puzzle making. So it's always good to see a new puzzle by her. So let's see how we do. Puppetry and animation. Possibly some kind of arts. Maybe completist's goal is the end, I would imagine. Title for Jane Goodall. Well, that should be Dame. So I think she was awarded a damehood for that. Completist's goal. 100% of something? Well, this is adept. So call ahead in a way. I know what this is. T minus 0 for the end of a NASA countdown. Like racehorse hooves. Shed? Are they sanded? A spare part is a pin, because you're talking about a spare when it comes to bowling. Switch to a shorter line, say. You might edit something to make a line shorter. To call ahead is to something in radii? No? Completist's goal is a set. Oh, maybe you, like if someone is trying to complete a set of something, maybe a collector, for instance. A handmaid's tale author. Oh my goodness, I knew this name at some point. Margaret something? Let me just figure out what this, it should come to me. Those guys, possibly them. Cinephile's online resources, IMDb. Much merch. So what might merch typically be? You might have some teas. I think that might be what it is, because of Piedmont province is an asti. An eggshell for one. An eggshell. Certainly the answer is not shell, because that's in the clue. Some delicate thing. I can't figure out what that is. What is this name? It looks so familiar. Oh, Atwood. Atwood. That's what it was. Might have a dandelion on the label. Might be a weed whacker or a weed cutter. Perhaps that might be the official name. A bonus. I don't know. More? You might get a bonus. You might get more. I don't think so. I think that doesn't really fit the substitution test, where you should find a sentence where you could substitute the word bonus for more. I don't think that really exists. Stopped lying. Stood, maybe? Transportation company in more than 60 countries. Is this Orel? That sounded like something, but I can't really be sure, because this doesn't really sound like something actually. Milky Way galaxy. Chocolate bar. Chocolate bar? It maybe not a weed cutter. It might just be something else. Let's see what this is. Melts down. What are these answers? Mention in passing. Touch on. Oh, okay. The call ahead might be to radio. You might radio something maybe. In the military, for instance. Some repurposed cornfields might become mazes. British row houses with an S at the end. So to capture a moment in fiction. To stop time, perhaps. Every day, say. Every day. A lot. Something might happen every day. It might happen often. A lot. Pick. You might choose. It might be a selection. Might be a opt-in. I don't know. Pick could be a few things. Doesn't take the regular train home. Maybe works late. If you work late, that might mean the same thing as not taking the regular train home. You might take the late train home, maybe. Turkey Day instruction. Perhaps it's talking about how you cook turkey, possibly basting, I think. It is certainly something to do with grease and a lot of oil, so it seems like something that you might do for like a special dinner. More than just smile, you might beam. Comment adult ed class as English as a second language. Brand whose logo has an A-shaped caliper. Ace-shaped caliper. Well, a caliper is a sort of measuring tool for measuring length very precisely. I would imagine that the brand starts with an A. The only one I can think of is Amco, but I'm not entirely sure what it actually does. I only have seen this abbreviation somewhat, but I'm not gonna commit to that yet. So let me just see what else I might be able to get. Ship stabilizing materials. What might stabilize a ship? Materials. Well, surely put an S there. And then what is this? A small branch of Marvel Comics. Baby Groot. I think that might be right. It certainly fits the clue in a stretchy way, like it usually does. It's minus 90 at the South Pole. Minus 90 at the South Pole. Is this a direction? Like north northeast or something? I'm not sure why it's minus 90. I can't figure it out right now. HDTV. Don't know. Feature of a big budget feature. Big budget feature. Can't figure that out yet. Let's just look at some other things. Linen might be made from flax. I think that's what it would be. It could also be Lyo. I don't know how to spell that. It could be that. But I think this is Len or Long Chaney of classic horror, possibly. Okay. Request from someone who has check please if you've completed all the courses. Race horses' hooves, so they are shed to maybe make them be faster. Maybe tales told by flashlights, ghost stories, or shod, perhaps. So to pick might be to elect, all right. And British row houses are mews, which I didn't know, but it seems right, so I'm gonna go with that. Don't kid yourself. Ridiculous. Don't be. Do be. I don't know. Let's see what else there is. Materialized. Maybe arose. Leader of China. Leader of China? How is this tricky? What part of this is tricky? What is a leader? I usually when you see these constructions of leader of some word, it's usually talking about the leader as in the first letter. But C would normally be spelled like this if you were to spell it out with as a word, but it doesn't fit here anyways. This way, guys. I don't know. Nestle's bubbly chocolate brand. I don't know. Group of alpha males. I don't know. Materialized. I still think it might be arose or came about to exist. Don't know. Steps on a scale. I think it would be tears. I think tear is specifically for a very heavy weight, like maybe like a truck, measured in tons or something. Maybe not actually. I don't know. Steps on a scale. It could be something else. So let's just look at what else there is. A certain psychedelic might be acid, perhaps. Remain calm. Right. Okay. Remain calm is good. Pool assignment. I'm thinking solid stripes. Maybe it's a pool as in a swimming pool. In that case, that would be a lane. Because it might be assigned a lane in a swim meet, for instance. Leader of China. Indochina, perhaps. Okay, that's the other common crossword usage of the word leader, or follower for that matter. So in this case, leader is not talking about the first letter of C, but first letter of China. Instead, it's talking about perhaps a prefix that could go before the word China. In this case, I think Indochina is a way to describe like the people or the region of that area of the world, like in India and China. I think that's what it is. Because what is this? Jalapeno topper. I would have jalapeno topper. Is it possible it's not Indo? Maybe I'm just yapping too much. Be for real. Don't kid yourself. See, come to reality. Come something. It might get put through the ringer. It might get put through the ringer. I can't figure out what that would be. Oh, that's too much for my brain to handle. God, this one's hard. To elicit the facepalm emoji. This is actually quite a difficult one. I'm gonna see what else I can figure out. Something green with a Y. Oh, let's see. Okay, this one I should have seen that one first. Able. And what is this one then? Eggshell for one. Might be a sheen, I suppose. Ah, okay. So, what is it? Eggshell, matte, and then maybe like shiny kind of things like that. I think eggshell is a term used in makeup, and I think in that case, it is a certain sheen. It just sort of gives a bit of a shine, I think, or a certain kind of texture, like colorful texture. Melts down. Maybe goes bananas, perhaps. And this one looks like this could be a weed cutter, but maybe let's see what this is. HDTV component, high dimension television. HDTV component makes me think we're supposed to take a look at one of these letters and specify what it means. It might not be Ghost Banana. Maybe it's Berserk. I don't see how that helps either. Perhaps this is sat up because bonus could be a perk. All right, let's see what else. Transportation company. Oh, Uber. Okay, I know that one. Oh, the tele, as in television. Then what is this? Something summer. Annapolis. I think they're called plebes. Actually, I don't think so. Some Annapolis freshman makes me think this is like the Naval Academy or something. Some sort of military school, perhaps. Um, Maybe it is plebe because I think this might just sort of reinforce the hierarchy that exists within military school. You have like the freshmen sort of on the bottom, so maybe it is plebe. So, Milky Way could be it could be a starry something. No, sports maybe. Let's see. Let's see what's over here. Weed something. Weed killer. All right, I think that works. What is this? Is this a I remember vaguely hearing about Carrie Green as being maybe a shade of green. Let's see what else there is. Spiral galaxy. That's what it is. Oh, of course, because there are different kinds of galaxies. I don't know what other shapes there might be, but spiral is the most common, I imagine. Ship stabilizing materials bar something, which I don't know what it is. Feature of a big budget feature, perhaps. And let's see what this is. RA something. RA something. What could be there? 90 minus 90 at the South Pole. Minus 90. I don't know what that stands for. I'm gonna look elsewhere. Okay, well this begins with an A like I thought it did. Okay. It could be Amco perhaps. Um, but I'm not gonna put that there right now. Mylar art alternative. I don't know what that is. Even outcome could be a wash. I suppose that's what people say. Then what is this? This looks like something that this looks like it only could be a few possible words. What might get put through the ringer? I'm not sure what's gonna. Perhaps it's this reality. This makes me think this is a wet mop. Maybe. And then, oh, that's clever. Okay, I know what this one is. Jalapeno topper is not an actual topping for jalapeno or topping with jalapeno. It's literally talking about the tilde that exists on top of the letter N here. So that's right. Okay, so this is actually Indo. My intuition was correct about that. Okay, so that's tilde. Then enter here might be a text box, I think. Looks below the surface. X-rays. Popular brand of weed killer. I think it was or all these words are escaping me right now. Oh, maybe I'll try some other letters then. Later love might be ta-ta. It's kind of a Britishism, I suppose. Feeling the flu is aily. No, that doesn't work, right? The same thing. Is this Orkin? To elicit the facepalm emoji might be to air. If you make a mistake, someone might facepalm. Then this looks very familiar. I'm just gonna go with this. I think this is Florida setting. Might be something beach. Then what is this? Feeling the flu. You might be achy, I suppose. Then this is not, or it could be. Then what are these? Ortho? I don't think ortho is well, maybe it could be. Characters from Crete and Sparta. So they both have an R in common and a T, but R, I think you would write rho for that. This is ortho, and that could be tar. Bitumen look-alike. I mean, tar certainly could be a word that they use. Then let's see what else I can get from this. So there are only these two sections left, which is nice. Oh, face reality, perhaps you might say that. This way, come on. Nestle's, okay, arrow, I know that one. This is actually is a rose. I don't know why I was unsure about that in the first place, but I think it was because I didn't know what this one was. At first, I was thinking it would be psst again, like it was a few days ago, but this is all right. Steps on a scale could be tones because group of alpha males talking about alpha, that's a fraternity. All right, let's see. Feature of a big budget feature. Cast, all-star cast. Right, okay. Then what is this? A brand whose logo has an A-shaped caliper. Has an A-shaped caliper. This makes me think this is like a hardware store. I can only think of Ace Hardware, but that, of course, is not 5 letters. Then what else could I get here? Word for whizzed. Shot? Whizzed. Sort of like sped by. That's what I think the meaning is, at least in this case. It could possibly, this possibly might not be an S at the end, although I'm fairly certain it is. So there are a lot of things that could help me out here. The one thing is I don't know what this name is. I don't think I'm familiar with what this word is either. And this brand is escaping me for some reason, although I feel like I should know it. AC. If I can figure out what kind of exactly what this brand is, it might help me. With an A-shaped caliper. Acorn? Not acorn. What else could I have? Acella? I mean, Acela is a train. I don't see why that would make sense. And it doesn't fit here either. This is not a good combination. So what else could it be? ACOT? No, ACT. Mylar alternative. What is Mylar? Man, this is a hard section because I'm just having trouble figuring out what this could be. What kind of Mylar sounds like it's a material of some kind. So if that's a material, then this should also be maybe a kind of material, because Mylar doesn't sound like it's a brand name. In which case, alternative most likely could be they would have written competitor instead if Mylar was a company's name. So let me see what else this might be. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, Acura, you're right, because right, okay, if you look at the logo for the like on the cars, I suppose Acura is also a play on accurate, which I didn't actually think of before, but accurate because calipers are very precise, in which case also often accurate measuring devices. I didn't realize that the logo was actually just a caliper, but it did have like an open top on the A, so I think it is actually Acura. Then what is this? Probably South Beach, I imagine. And then what is this? Mylar alternative. It's possible this is not, but Elvis at Star, perhaps? Album of Memphis recordings. So what else could that be, right? If it's not Star. Well, it could be a few other words. Stag. Stag sounds like it could be a maybe a place name. But man, if I can figure out, for instance, what this is, ship stabilizing materials, ship stabilizing bar, because otherwise it would have been Tor. Oh, I mean, whizzed could be Tor. So this could be uh oh god, I don't know what this is. Um Later for Mylar alternative. Oh, latex. That's certainly a thing. And Elvis at Stacks. I think this I've definitely heard of this before. Okay, latex and possibly other thing that I was not so sure about was this. And ortho didn't sound like it was a weed killer name like I thought it was. But everything around here works so well. I mean, I don't know what bitumen is. Is it possible it's something else that I'm not getting? So corn mazes, right? Pick is to elect muse. I don't know if this is it. But man, this is one of the most annoying parts of solving when you can't get something right. Plebe seems like it could be correct. Then what could it be? You know, um, it's possibly latitude. Right, it's not carry. Ballasts. That's definitely something I've heard of. I didn't know it was a ship stabilizing material. Um, it's one of those. It's okay. It's like it's one of those sort of answers that you have heard of as sort of being like a construction part of some kind of thing. Maybe it's like a ship or it's like a window or some kind of like I don't know what's it called, like wainscoting on a wall or something. But there are a lot of construction words like that. I think one of the ones that I'm familiar with is like pinion. I've seen it before. Pinion is like a very it sounds like it's a word, right? It rhymes with minion, and it has like two very specific meanings. Like one of them is it's like the tail or like the last longest feather on a bird's wing. It could also mean like I think it's a small gear, like in comparison to a larger gear. It's like in comparison to like a rack and pinion might be sort of a gear system. So it's like two very specific meanings, and it's something that I think people would hear of and or see and like reason that's a real word, but it's one of those words that I don't think I would have gotten on my own. Um, Certainly these things helped me. Kelly Green as opposed to Kerry Green. I think I meant to say Kelly. I don't remember if I actually said this, but Kelly Green. That sounds like it's a shade of green. I don't know how light or dark it is. Um, but in any case, I'm happy that I was able to get this one. Because I honestly, if I didn't immediately fixate on this, I think I might have been able to spend like 5 extra minutes to do this. But let's take a look at what else there is to maybe some other clues that I might not have been able to explain fully. Um, let's see. So, like I said before, this was sort of my intuition was that you have each of these components. Um, if you have an abbreviation followed by component or part, something like that, then often what it's asking for you to do is to give a component of this abbreviation. In this case, it happens to be the T here, and I suppose it makes sense, right? If you have an entry like tele, you are kind of restricted for options on how you would clue that. So you kind of have to clue it in relation to television and have the T for short. Um, so of these four parts here, you have high definition or deaf, television, and an H and T are the only ones that have four letters. And even beyond that, it's way more likely that this is actually cluing the T because you have a lot more options for cluing high as a word on its own rather than cluing TLE. So that also is something that I guess should have pointed me in the right direction. I did kind of notice recently I haven't been able to make these kind of insights like on the spot. I've kind of been a bit slow with this. Maybe it's sort of been a thing where, some days I'm just feeling it, other days it's just a bit slow. Like I just haven't really been able to um, really concentrate on these kind of things. And sometimes it really is just a matter of being out of practice, um, or at least I don't know. Sometimes it's just like an off day or it's an off week. But I wouldn't even say that it is an off week. I still think that I did pretty well here. Um, a lot of things that I thought were, I don't think I fully explained this one. I just kind of I just kind of filled it in right away after I got text box, because this X as the first position is a kind of big giveaway. There aren't many words that begin with the letter X. So that was something I just kind of focused on, just kind of put in right away. I didn't know that Ortho was a brand of weed killer. I remember like in our garage there is a different I forgot it also was a five-letter one. I thought it started with an O. I didn't know Ortho was a brand of weed killer though, so I will remember that because Ortho does seem like it would show up again at some point. Yeah, X-rays looks below the surface, I suppose, like the skin. I will say this, in comparison to other clues, is a bit loose, um, with this question mark thing, because some of these other ones, for instance, a group of alpha males. I think just looking at sort of um, fixating on individual words is sort of the key with question mark clues, because all the misdirections seems to revolve around a single word being interpreted in a different way. So alpha male is of course its own thing, but then alpha, if you're not thinking of alpha as in like the leader sense, then you're thinking of alpha as potentially like a Greek life thing. So that's the way you're supposed to interpret it. I don't know what bitumen is. And then certain psychedelic is acid, also known as LED, LSD. I think they're the same thing. Leader of China. I don't actually know what. I mean, Indochina just sounds like it's a thing. I'm sure it was a thing. I think for like historical reasons, it was called Indochina in the same way that like Native Americans were called. I think there's like Amerindians or something. It's kind of weird, Though I've only seen it in history textbooks, but I mean there are certainly words that people like to say, and some words people don't really say that often anymore. Um, but I think that like given the choices of letters that were here, I think Indo is probably the best choice, and it is helpful sometimes to just have a nice little question mark clue, even if the answer is a bit weird. Yeah, Mylar alternative. I don't know what is about this word that just makes me think that it's a material. Perhaps it's sort of like activated some neurons in the back of my mind where it signaled it was some material. I didn't know exactly what it really was. My first thought would be is like some kind of fabric, because a lot of those are just happen to be like two syllables, five letters, like nylon, I think Orlon, things like that. I think that's also the sort of YL, that kind of, I don't know, it just feels material like. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like what I said before, like some words just kind of sound like their meaning for some reason. Yeah, this was in terms of uh, Robin Weintraub puzzles. I feel like this one was actually quite difficult. There were these two sections that I had trouble with, and um, all things after that, I also had to come back and fix this. But in any case, it was I expected nothing less from something by Robin. So this was a good puzzle. I enjoyed it a lot.